listening. You've now tuned in to tonight's edition of Touche with your hosts, the beautiful soul kitten Richardson, June Lewis, and Miss Lisa Antoinette. This show is being brought to you by the Cutting Edge Network. Please follow us at thecuttingedgenetwork.com. That is thecuttingedgenetwork.com, spelt with a K. Last but not least, if you would like to call in to tonight's show, dial 516-418-5637. That's 516-418-5637. Press 1 to go live. Okay, ladies, take us away.
Hey, June.
What's up, girl? What's up? How you doing tonight?
Good. Now, what? I know we have something in store for the people. What is it that we're going to be talking about this evening on Touche?
Oh, my goodness. Tonight on Touche, we are going to be talking about whether or not women can actually get along with each other. Like, are we really cordial? Are we even friends? And tonight we have an article from a woman named Divya Sharma, where she gives a lot of different outlooks on why it is that women are not usually loyal to one another.
And what does she say? Because I have an article too. What does she say?
She has a lot to say.
Along?
She said, she says that we get threatened by one another. She says we have something called the green eye, meaning that we're jealous of one another. She said that we can't tolerate while guys like you, like why guys would like you better than the other girls. She said that women want to be what they can't be, so when they see you, they feel threatened by you because you have what it is that they can't have. They love to hate you. She say they are used to being a center of attraction. They can't stand candidness. They're always in competitive mode. They're always self-conscious. They are addicted to gossiping. Like, she goes in. She said they are made to believe all their life to protect what is theirs. And she goes into a deeper, detail of these different topics. But these are the 11 topics with her top 11 of why women don't get along with one another.
Well, you know what? I found an article myself, and this was by Meg Butler. And it's kind of funny because I was listening to the 11 reasons that you just gave, and boy, oh boy, it looks like there are some similarities. The first one out of the 15 is low-key jealousy. Low-key jealousy. Long memories is number 2. Yeah. She says women are like horror movies from the 90s. We know what you did last summer and everything since then. Unless we hash our issues out with regular checkups, friendships can go downhill fast. And that's number 2, long memories. Number 3, divitude. Divitude. Now, I think we all know what that means. Divitude. I'm sure we all know a diva or two.
Oh, my God.
Or maybe we might be that diva ourselves. Now, before I even go into any of the other ones, June, what do you think about the ones we've listed so far? Because I have a few more to go through. You gave the 11 at the top of the show. I went into a few out of the 15 reasons, and I'm sure there's more. Whenever you just type in that simple phrase, why can't we get along? Why can't women get along? And even more specifically, why can't black women get along?
Well, I do agree with some of these things. I've always been naive to the fact of someone being jealous of me because I don't know why that could be, I just didn't see how that could be possible. But I do see that women are very competitive. They always want to know that they do something, better, more intelligent, work harder. But I think that we've been conditioned that way. Like, I think that we've had to strive so hard to be the best that we can be. Be classy, be hardworking, be loving, be a mother. be a wife. You know, we have so many different titles and so many different hats to wear. And so we find ourselves competing with one another when really there's room for everyone. Just look at the music industry. You know, you don't see the guys competing the way the women compete. As soon as a hot female artist is out, she's automatically being compared to another woman, or is being reminded that she got her flow from another woman. And the men do it all the time. Everyone has somebody that they look up to and that they kind of model after. But when a woman does it, it's always maximized. You know, we always looking at it in a big ordeal, like when Nicki Minaj came out and everybody was like, oh, my God, she wants to be just like Lil' Kim. But Lil' Kim also had those that came before her that she took and modeled after in some sort of fashion. You know, like Madonna, even though she wasn't a rap artist, but Lil' Kim still did, like, look up to her a lot. Madonna, Marilyn Monroe. So it's kind of like when it comes to women, we judge each other very harshly.
Yeah, we do. And, you know, the other thing is like you said, you touched on an important part, which was we have been conditioned, we have been socialized to act this way towards each other. Like we are just in constant competition. Now, being a black woman is like double for us, I think, because not only are we in competition with ourselves, other black women, but we are also in competition with other women of other races, where we have to fight twice, 3 times, 10 times as hard just to be seen as an equal, and even then we're still not viewed as an equal. We're like at the bottom of the totem pole, you know, if you will, with that. But we've just been conditioned to act this way. We don't trust each other. We don't, you know, it's very, how am I going to say this? You don't hear that often about women really, it's kind of like a myth sometimes. Not saying that it doesn't happen, because there are real sisterhoods out there where women get it and they have these bonds and they build these bonds with other women, friendships. It's that social setting, it's that love, it's that support, where the women that are able to do this, they get it. It's not saying, no, they don't have disagreements, but the disagreements and even their different points of view won't diminish or destroy the sisterhood. But many sisterhood, and that can be not just with black women, but all women, have been destroyed by numerous things. And that brings me into the next one. The next point is that Meg Butler states, out of 15 reasons why some women just can't get along, and I know this is not going to come as a big surprise, number 4 on the list is men. You know what? When you sit there
said,
for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch base on the men, because when you were saying about black women having to compete with all the different races, I'm gonna touch base on interracial dating for a second. Because today I was talking to one of my friends, my lady friends, and she showed me a picture of a lot of prestigious black men that were doing very well in all industries of, you know, entertainment. And they all had white women, even down to Michael Jordan, which I never knew that he had a white wife. But they all had white women, or if not white, just different races, either than black. So my girl, you know, she shows me the photo, and she's like, look at this. Look at these guys. You know, and for her, like, a lot of anger had riled up. Now, me personally, I used to be like that. But what changed me is because I had to realize that white women and black women are the same. When you know, you don't have to agree, or no one has to agree, but I've come to terms with we're all women. Like, we're all human women, and she has just as much deserving right to date that brother as I do. But I had to grow into that maturity, because when I was being raised by, you know, an African American from the South that was born in the 20s, she told me I better not ever bring no white man home. You know, that was what I was told in my household. And my grandmother that raised me she was raised segregated, so she raised me segregated, even though I was born in the 80s, you know? And so she basically, believed that whites and blacks should be separated and live separate lives or whatever. So I grew up with that chip on my shoulder, and I used to be very jealous. Like, why? Because you would see that a lot of black men will have different excuses or different reasons why they found other races more attractive or even more respectful or more loyal. All these different things that they gave as excuses of why they like it. But what I really think people should do is, like, stop making excuses of why you like it and just accept the fact that you have the ability to like whatever you want. You don't need an excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't need to compete against our sisters of other races because we're all beautiful women and there's a man out there for all of us. So we don't need to be like, oh, well, because she's white, she needs not to be with him. Because I used to be like that. Even before I had my children, I was like, I don't want my children dating outside of our race. I want to keep the blood pure. Like, I was really, one of those type of people.
Yeah.
So I do know how we can be very hateful towards each other because of race alone.
And that's true. And, June, you touched on a couple of good things here. I'm just going to start with how us as black women feel when we see one of our brothers dating a woman from another race. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with it. I was like you. At one point, it will make me a little hot, but not as hot because I have a lot of interracial marriages in my family. So I grew up seeing that. I also grew up seeing, respect our kings, the black men. I saw my cousins, which happened to be, actually, some males and females, my female and male cousins that married outside their race. And truth be told, actually, I like their spouse sometimes better than my own blood. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
I got
You're
along with them. And then my background, I went to a predominantly white private school. So it's like I was socialized around this, along with having pride in my race, pride in our race, and pride in who I was. But when the world gets in and they start teaching you these different things, when I got a little bit older as a teen, I didn't understand why. The interracial dating for this point only, because I would hear specifically some brothers say, well, I like, this person is better because of X, Y, and Z. It might have been the looks. It might have been, they have good hair, or they're just more cultured than you. They're more intelligent than you. Whatever it was always like a backslash.
Yeah.
Like that negative connotation attached to, I'm with this person because X, Y, and Z, they're better than you. You are nothing. And that's when I got an attitude with some quote-unquote brothers. But then I realized, hey, some of those brothers weren't worth claiming anyway. And I'm just going to put it out there. So I'm like, hey, girl, you got that. I don't claim him. You got him if you want him. But we fight over men. I've seen relationships between women get ripped apart because of a man.
Yeah.
A man.
And that's very true. Like, I don't have a personal personal experience that I can remember. But, I'm lying. I remember when I was in high school. When you want to bring it up, bring it back. I remember when I was in high school, and it wasn't so much that me and the girl's relationship got ruined because we really wasn't really cool. Because when we get deeper into this conversation, I'll share my own experiences, how I didn't even, hang with women back in my day as well. Right. So me and her, we wasn't really cool. But we kind of were like cordial. Like I used to do her hair or whatever. And then she liked my boyfriend. So I know how women compete with each other. Like I'm very competitive. You know what I mean? And I remember that she got her chance to be with my boyfriend. And then I broke up with him. And then she was so happy because she was just like, oh, I took your man. And my way of competing was to take him back, to flaunt him, to show her that I can have him, I could pick him up and drop him. Because we look at men as property. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially when we're young and we don't know no better. You know, we look at men as property or like our little pets or whatever. So it's like, listen, hon, I can pick him up. I can have him whenever I want to have him. And when I'm done with him, I'll throw him away. And I'll let you have him when I choose for you to have him. You know, and that's how I used to handle myself as a high school student. So I picked him up. He was all happy, like, oh, you picked me back. Thank you. Man, as soon as that girl left the school, I was done with him. I was like, I don't want to. I said, because every time I see you, I see her. And then he was just like, are you serious, June? Like, he started crying. He's like, you can't be serious right now. I'm like, I'm so done with you. Because really, I never even, I like lost all attraction when I knew that he had laid with another girl. You know what I mean? But I had only picked him up because I wanted to prove to her that I can do it. And that just goes to confirm what the article said. We're very competitive.
And doesn't that say something? It's like, because I've been there too. You know, it's like a conquest. It's like you sticking your flag on top of that man. It's like, hey, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, boo-boo. Because, you know, we got those little comments inside of our head. It's like we're pumping ourselves up. And, like, you know I'm the baddest woman out here. We may use some other terminology, so we're going to keep it PC right now. But we do say I'm the baddest such and such, you know. And I can have him anytime I want. All I got to do is blink my eye, wink my eye, you know, flutter my eyelashes. I got to smile. Or I just say, baby, and he comes running. We like to feel that it's a power thing. It's a power trip. So we're like, okay, you think you're that bad where you can take him from me, but why do we do this? Is it really because of the man, or is it because we know or we feel as though it's a confidence builder, that power
it's a confidence builder.
I can have him.
It's power. It's, you know, a woman, I think that we really get off on power. Like, how much control can we have over another person? Especially if you're a woman of the world. Because when I was a woman of the world, my whole life revolved around manipulating and having power over men.
There it is.
You know what I mean? So if a woman stepped in the way of me having my power, she had to go. She had to go.
Now, here is the next one, and as soon as I say it, I know you're going to have something to say, because almost, I'm not going to say all women, but at some point in your life, or you have known somebody that can relate to this one. This is number 5, the ring race. Who is going to get married next? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. You know, you heard that saying before. The ring race is another thing that can ruin relationships between women. Now, what are your thoughts on that, dude?
Watching your friends get married and, you know, me, I think all my girls are single right now. Like, I don't have any married friends, but I see that happen with pregnancies, you know, where people are having babies and you're waiting to have your baby. Because I belong to a couple of groups on Facebook where women are trying to conceive, because I'm trying to have my 3rd child right now. So I belong to these little support groups. And the women actually say, and it's funny because nowadays, internet has made it so easy for people to be real and speak their mind that it's funny to me. Because the girls on the group be like, you know what? I'm jealous. I'm mad and I'm tired of keep having to say congratulations to you because you're getting pregnant. And I'm like, whoa. Like, those are things that only stays in your head. You know what I mean? But the media, social media has allowed people to just vent. You know, because you don't know these people. They don't mean anything directly to you. So you basically, like, tell them how you really feel about the people that are supposed to be closest to you. So imagine this is like your best friend, and then we could use that as the same instance of marriage. Your best friend. Oh, I'm getting married. I want you to be my maid of honor. And in the back of that woman's head, she's like, I'm so sick of you. Like, I heard women say, like, why does the whore got to get married first? Like, the one who slept with the most dudes is the one getting married. And here I am. I've been saving myself. I do everything right. Why can't I find the right guy? You know, I hear all of those things. So that's the type of things that really stay in the woman's head. But now with social media, they're, like, bringing it out.
Yeah, you know what? This is something. Now, this is a personal story about that. I have two. Actually, I'm going to keep the person's identity, secret right now. But this is a personal connection to me, and I was actually in this wedding when one of the girlfriends actually dipped out at the last minute. Why? Because girlfriend got an attitude because this woman was getting married, and I think this was her third marriage. She said, I can't even get one. How is that you can get three?
And that's the thing. We're too busy comparing ourselves.
That was one. And so I had told this person because it was a small wedding party. So I told her, I said, you know what? Even if I have to walk down the aisle with two gentlemen on my arm, her dipping out of the wedding is not going to mean a thing because we're going to keep this going. You and your hubby-to-be are going to have a beautiful, beautiful day and starting your new chapter in your life. Don't even worry about it. She dipped out at the last minute, and they haven't spoken since because she was jealous of the fact that this woman was able to find three. Now, regardless of what you think about, the process of being married 3 times, you can't look over the fact that it was still jealousy in the play, even when, you've seen your girlfriends get engaged. And I know for a while, now, I would say I had my little moments. It wasn't anything too extreme, but I had my little moments. I was happy for my friends, and it wasn't like I was jealous over them. I was sad for myself, and I think a lot of times that plays out too. Women they start to look at themselves differently. Like, well, what is wrong with me? And in turn, they use that energy to direct it towards that woman like it's her fault. Or you're intentionally making me feel bad because that man proposed to you and nobody's proposed to me. And that's what we're saying.
That's terrible.
I feel bad around you. I feel bad around you because you got the ring on your finger. They saw the worth in you. They want to make you their wife. They want to spend the rest of their life with you. Why doesn't any man want to do that to me? And so you look at it, and then especially, you're getting older, and you're like, you've seen all your friends married, and they're having kids and everything else, and let's say you're not in that boat yet. You're looking at yourself like, what's wrong with me? So then you start to tear yourself down. In turn, you're tearing yourself down, and then to make yourself feel better, you're going to tear that woman down, too. You're going to make her feel bad or disassociate yourself with her because it just so happened it was her time in the sun and not yours yet. I'm going to say that one more time. It was that woman's time in the sun, her path, her time for that to happen, and it didn't happen to you at the same time or before your friend. Again, comes in that competition thing. Competition with love, competition with men, competition with that, competition with whose hair looks the prettiest, competition with whose heels are the highest. I'm a fall back.
Well, I hope the listeners pick that up right there because that's some knowledge right there that you drop in, that is a different level of competition. What I want people not to do is to stop looking what she's doing and what she got going on. We so busy looking. I don't know how people's neck don't hurt because every time you turn around, you're breaking your neck to see what is going on over there with Ann and what Keisha doing. What about what are you doing? And that's what's wrong with me because I've been self-censored and I keep on worrying about what I'm doing and all type of catastrophe is going on around me, and then I end up so getting drowned because I'm not as aware. But there has to be a balance. I need that balance, but I need people to bring it in some. Stop breaking your neck and seeing what Keisha's doing and what Jane is doing, and focus on you. Focus on what's going on with you because you're competing with somebody who's not paying you no mind.
Please say that again. Please say that
again. You're competing with somebody who's not paying you no mind. How are you playing the game with no players? Nobody's playing with you. Everybody's living their life, and you over here competing. You setting up stuff like, I'm going to make sure I get this. You know what's funny? I was just talking about this with somebody just a minute ago, but not in this aspect. We was talking about wanting things. You know, I'm a big fan of Juanita Byram, and she always says that the reason why you don't have the things that you want is because of your heart, of what is it that you want. Why do you want it? She was like, and I told my people, I said, you know, I've been guilty of wanting things just to show. I don't even know if anyone's looking, but just to show. Like, you know, this is how I'm doing it today. You know what I mean? I'm coming out like this. I'm going to wear this or I'm going to drive that. And then it's like, and Juanita said, that's exactly why you ain't got it. Because God know your intentions ain't right.
There you go. And
your heart is not in the right place.
That's right. And this is a saying that one of, I call him my guru. He says this all the time to me. He says, energy flows where attention goes. Now, in case you ladies missed that, energy flows, where attention goes. Remember that. So while you're focused on Kim and Barbara and Jane and Julie and whatever and Erica and what they're doing, or worried about trying to one-up them or trying to be sneakier than them just to show that, hey, I got this. I know how to play the game. I'm just going to talk real to you because that's what we do on Touche. And this is not politically correct. You are being stupid. That was a little politically correct because I really wanted to say something else, but I'm keeping it PC tonight. Okay? But you are being stupid, and stupid in the way that, look, while you're spending so much time and attention worrying about that other woman and what she's doing and what she has, you are neglecting your own yard. So, of course, you're not going to track that. If you have that negative energy and you're putting it out there that, you know, oh, you're jealous over this person, you're mad, it's okay. I mean, it's human emotion. We're not saying don't have regular human emotions, but you can't dwell there. You can stay there. Go through the motions, and guess what? Pick yourself back up and focus on making yourself a better you. Focus that attention to something positive, and you will be surprised at what you will attract. Yeah. Your network is your net worth.
It's the truth. And while we sitting here, you know, like you said, worrying about other people looking at somebody else, somebody's looking at you. The same woman that is jealous of her friend that's getting married because nobody is getting married to you, someone's looking at you. Someone is thinking about you. Someone is praying to find and meet a woman like you. It's nothing wrong with waiting. It's nothing wrong with getting God's best. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we look at our friends and we competing, and everybody's jumping. They're having children quickly. They're getting with any man who want to holler at them. And we got a nerve to be jealous. What you jealous for? She don't have the best. Because what they say, haste make waste. So when you running after something and you trying to be quick and you want something microwavable and popcorn, then that's exactly what you get. If you want something substance, you got to wait, you know, so that you can get the best. And I think that that's what people need to think of to make themselves feel better. Like when you see her getting married to a guy, or every time you turn around they got boyfriends, or every time you turn around there's a baby shower, you got to understand that your best is coming. You know what I mean?
That's
just like think about what you're having, what's coming to you, and don't get salty like, I ain't never gonna have no man, I ain't gonna never have this and that. Because actually, you know, people that are the most successful, they wait to have their children, they wait to fall in love, they wait, they take their time with their life so that they're able to get everything. People that's quick, they usually live in poverty.
Now, you know what, June? We have first of all, this is something that we didn't mention. Our lovely sister Lisa is not here with us tonight, but she is definitely here with us in spirit. So we have a special woman that is going to fill in for her, and that is none other than Miss Van Zandt. And this next clip you're about to listen to came from the episode she did called It was 6 brown chicks, and these were 6 women that actually started this blog, and, you know, they started this business together. They were doing well, but they started to fall out. The sisterhood started to diminish because of some of the things that we mentioned. We have a few more to get through. Some of these very same symptoms that started to attack their relationship. But we want you to sit tight and listen to the outcome of this. All right, and we will be back with you shortly. Again, you are listening to Touche on the Cutting Edge Network. Why she gotta hate? Why she gotta hate? Now, that number you can dial is 516-418-5637, and what you would do to talk to my lovely sister June and myself is press that 1. Again, if you missed the number, that is 516-418-5637, and we will be back with you shortly.
On this summer day in Chicago, it's approaching 100 degrees in the backyard. The women are emotionally spent, but there's still one lesson left to learn. So we are going to sweat it out together.
One of the things that, as women, we don't do, that we need to do, is seek counsel. And particularly in the world that we live in, when there's so much going on, we must seek the counsel of our elders.
I have invited 4 women to join me this morning to create a circle of wisdom. Their gift to the 6 brown chicks, guidance, strength, and love, so that each woman may grow into the sister that she was destined to be.
As my grandmother told me, you never go anywhere barefaced and empty-handed. And what you give, you receive. Today you give a white rose for devotion and respect. When you get to the elder, you offer her your rose and you listen for her counsel. Kneel before your elder and present her with your gift.
Thank you. Your privilege. You have a great responsibility because others will look to you. Stand in integrity. Stand tall, and they have to look up to you. God bless you. It's already done. It's already done.
I lost my husband 12 years ago. Before that, I lost my son. But keep you some friends along the way. Don't burn all your bridges when you cross it, because you might have to come back over. Ladies need to compromise, and we need to communicate, and we won't always agree. But we can do so much more when we go out into the world together. When you serve with joy, enthusiasm, and excellence. Expect nothing in return. When you go out with that expectation, just watch my words and see how good all that you give is multiplied and comes back to you. Thank you, darling. Bless you. Stay down there. Stay there. Stay right there. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes.
I too want to benefit from the wisdom of these elders. This experience is more than a television show for me. It's my life, and I'm here to learn from it. As the day ends, each woman has the opportunity to voice forgiveness. The words, simple and heartfelt.
I love you. Please forgive me.
I love you. I'm so sorry that I did not do what I should have done and said what I should have said.
I am so sorry for not being there for you. Please forgive me for that.
June, what did you think about that?
Well, that lady's voice sounded like Whoopi Goldberg. I was like, she sounded like Whoopi.
Lord.
But no, it was a very powerful message. But I didn't get like the outcome of what happened with them. I thought it was gonna be like a whole scenario of like they broke up and then they came back together. So I didn't get the ending as far as like what happened.
Well, you know, with that that particular clip was the end of the whole process that she had them go through, because they went through jealousy with one another, talking behind each other's back. One sister felt abandoned, like you heard her mention about she just lost her husband, and she was going through all that pain and grief and sorrow alone. Her sister didn't notice it, and that hurt her. So that pain, can I just say, sometimes I can just, the waterworks just come down like that when it's something that's so deep and so real. It's that pain. It's that pain and it's that realness. So the end is kind of what she worked with all of them to kind of get to see and admit the wrongs they did to each other, how they missed those certain cues, you know. Yeah. So that to me was powerful because of the message and what the ritual that she had them go through, which was talking to their elders. That's something else that we don't do.
Yeah, because that's where the wisdom comes, you know, from the elders. And I think that's what a lot, like you said, we don't do that because where are the elders? You know, before the grandmothers were older, you know, the parents were more wiser and they had a distinction between being your friend and being your parent. Now it's like you guys are the same age and you guys are competing and having beef with one another. So we're not going to the older people. We don't even have respect for the elders like we used to even take their words and their wisdom.
Right. That's right. Now, do you think with some of the issues that we discussed so far, because we have a few more to kind of get through, why she gotta hate? That term right there, why she gotta hate? Why is she hating? Why is she hating on me? The green-eyed monster. What is going on? Why can't I just have a good time with my sister without worrying about if she's going to stab me in the back? You know, if she's looking at me cross-eyed, she's trying to sleep with my man. You know, it's all these things that we have going on because we don't trust one another. Why don't we trust one another? Like, what are your thoughts on that, June? I know what I think. Like, what do you think about the trust issue between women? Why don't we trust each other that often or that frequently or at all?
I think it goes back to our relationship with our mothers. You know, I think because it's the same when men are trying to figure out, you know, why women are the way they are with men, they always go back to the relationship with their dad. So I think and how we respond and how we relate to women have to do with our relationship with our mothers. And, you know, if we didn't have that relationship, if our mothers abandoned us and things like that and came in and out of our lives, then we already have the issue with trust of women. We didn't even trust ourselves. I think sometimes when you don't trust people, it has something to do with who you are inside. You know? Like, what are your motives? What are you capable of doing? If you know that you're capable of, you know, stealing someone's man, then you don't trust no other woman around your man. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. I look at it sometimes that trust has to do with what is within you, if it's not all to do with your past relationship with your own female relatives, like your mother or grandmother or something like that.
Well, you know, my relationship with my mom was good. That was my best friend. That was my rock. That was my strength. And she poured that strength into me. Where I got the message from, where I started to kind of use discernment, you know, although I didn't call it discernment at that time. I called it just keeping my eye on you. I can't trust you. Why can't I trust you? You know, the gossiping sometimes, or smiling in your face and stabbing you in your back, you know, and trusting. Because we all had to go through a period of being naive. And in my naive times is when I have gotten played. And it taught me a different lesson. So this came from my peers. My lesson about women came from my peers. And some of the people that I attracted during different points in my life. There have been good examples and there have been piss poor examples that have led me to have a different definition of a sisterhood and who I can trust and who I can't trust. You know, now number 6, I'm getting number 6 on the list is mean girls. Why are women catty? Those mean girls, you know, the ones that you see sitting up there talk about everything from the shoes on your feet to the clothes on your back to how you have your hairstyle, even how you may decorate your house. Nothing stops. Nothing is off limits. They will rip you to shreds as soon as you come in the room. You don't even have to open up your mouth. Even if you are dressed to the T with a sparkle in your eye, somebody's hating on you. Best believe they're looking at you. Now, why does that come? Why are they looking at you? Now, June, have you been a mean girl before? Because I'm going to tell on myself in a second. Have you been a mean girl in your past?
I'm a jokester. You know, I got jokes for days. But I don't think I'm mean. My husband says that that's mean. You know, that me and my girl, we just sit back and just joke and crack. But I wouldn't do it to anyone's face. Like, I wouldn't say all of the things that I'm saying or feeling about them. Because all day long, I play movies of people in my head that I see on a train or I see around my neighborhood, and I just get the jokes, like, from her head or his head to the soles of their feet. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to walk up to them like, oh, you need to, you know, do something with your hair. You need your bottom body to catch up with your top. You know, like, certain things are really funny. But I'm not going to say it. I'm not a mean girl because I'm not going to try to purposely hurt someone. You know what I mean? Because I'm all about uplifting and inspiring, but I'm a jokester. I like to play and I like to have fun.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell myself, have I been a mean girl? No, not per se. Have I joked about somebody that may have gotten on my nerves? Or it's always, for me, it's like the counterattack. It's like they have to come from me, and I'm like, well, I know such and such is not talking about me over here when they have a third eye. I mean, not a third eye, but they have, like, you know, 2 noses on their face. I'm just exaggerating. But, you know, I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's when it comes out. It doesn't make it any better. But I've done that before. Yeah. Like, I know they're not talking when it looks like they got beat in the face with, you know, a stick or the broom or whatever. You know, they just weren't blessed. You know, but that's wrong. That's wrong.
It is.
That's wrong still, but I've done it. And I've talked about people.
Mm-hmm. Because it's entertaining. You know, that's the thing. Like, I guess that does make us mean because we're entertained by things that are mean. But at the same time, I won't never disrespect someone, you know, and just go up to them and just start getting a joke, Right. Because I've matured, like, even now, if somebody is saying something to me that is disrespectful, I'm not quick with my tongue to disrespect them back. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, I can't believe you spoke to me like that. And I want to deal with that. I want to confront it. But the joke stayed within my head or within my group. You know, my sisters, my cousin, like, we get the joke. But I never let that come out to hurt anyone else. Because that's just not right. Like, that would really, really send somebody over the edge.
Hey, you know what? That is something that I've never done. Like, I've never intentionally went up and said this to people in the past, you know, in the less mature days. Like, I never just intentionally wanted to go up and hurt somebody's feelings. I was like the peacemaker. Okay?
Yeah.
But I did defend myself, and I'm not saying that's right. I did match their fire with more fire. I said, oh, you wanted to make me feel this, so I'm going to make you feel 1,000 times worse about yourself. Because now you done crossed the line. That wasn't right. But I'm not saying, you know, I was an angel. I'm not. But you have to go through these things in order to grow. But that just shows you, it's like no matter what you do, Energy flows where your attention goes. So if you are having those negative thoughts, whether it's joking with your girls or you may joke or say something mean to somebody as a counterattack because of whatever reason, because they came for you, it doesn't mean you got to attack them in the same form or fashion that they do sometimes. And I know it's hard, ladies. I know it's hard. It was hard for me in the beginning too. And some days it's still hard. You got to rise to the occasion. Because that sister, a lot of times when we say mean and hurtful things, it means that we are feeling these things inside ourselves. So we want you to hurt like we're hurting, but we're masking that hurt by sitting there and talking about you. When the real problem is not with you, it's with them, because sometimes people are jealous because they're not you. So they have to tear you down to make themselves feel better. Just think about that the next time next time someone gets on your nerves.
When you said that they hate you, right? I'm looking at my article over here, and she says they love to hate you. They might not even know you, but if you are new at school or work, they're absolutely judgmental about anyone that they don't know, especially in a negative sort of way. So how do you feel? Like, you just said it, so it just came out, because that's really sad. That's really sad that someone could just automatically have a judgment. And I know it's true even with adults. When you're working and then it's a new girl and everybody's like, oh, who that new girl? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then if the new girl is too comfortable and she's too chatty and she's too friendly, then they're like, oh, she's too friendly. She need to watch herself. She just got here. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why do we do that? They don't do that to no guy. When a guy come and he's all chatty and smiling, they don't be like, oh, he's smiling too much. Never do they say that. But if it's a woman, then it's like, oh, you're being too friendly. You need to calm yourself down and humble yourself. Like, I don't get it.
They're never happy. When you got people that will attack you like that, the person to be quiet, minding their own business. Oh, who does she think she is? She's over there. She's too good to speak to anybody. If she walks around and talks to everybody and says good morning, who does she think she are, coming here all chipper? It's like, sit your behind down. Okay? It doesn't matter what the person does. Or if the men like her, she thinks she's cute. She ain't all that. You heard it.
Exactly. Like it was her fault, right?
Oh, you heard it. It was her fault because men found her attractive. And you didn't like it.
You know what this reminds me of? You know where I think this behavior comes from? I think it comes from because from the time you're born, your parent always tell you, a girl doesn't do that. As a lady, you don't do this. And you know what I'm saying? So we're already, like, from the time we're born, we think all of these things, like a girl can't sit with her legs open. Because I was a tomboy as a child, and I didn't like dresses, and I would have my jeans or my shorts on, but my legs would be wide open, and they were like, as a girl, your legs ought to be crossed. I'm like, crossed for what? I don't have on a dress.
Cross them at the ankle.
Like, you know what I mean? And then, because I have a loud voice, ain't no way no woman should be that loud. You be like, yo. So if you're raised up and you're hearing that, from the elders and the parents and everything, then you bring that judgment to the world. You bring it to school, you bring it to your work environment, and you judge women harshly. And then you just smile and pat the man on his back because that's exactly how we was raised to see it be done.
That's a good point. That's a good point because, we've all heard those messages being a little girl. And I know I heard the same thing when you may start to let your legs, because it feels comfortable when you're little. You got to get used to wearing a dress. After a while, it becomes like second nature. But when it's your first time, you may not automatically think like, oh, well, hey, I got my legs open. You're just sitting like comfortable like you have on jeans or pants. But the first thing your mother will tell you, you are a lady. Cross your legs. Ladies don't sit with their legs open. You do this. And, I mean, it's a million things that we are told and that we are taught. And you're right. It has us because we've been judged by our actions when we're learning. When you know better, you do better. But we take that in an adult form and really carry it on out. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to get into it's a brief clip of Miss Van Zandt, and then we're going to get into a quick music break, and we will be back with you shortly. Again, you are listening to Touche on the Cutting Edge Network. Why she gotta hate? We are talking about women and relationships and why there's so many articles and why there's so many examples of why women just can't get along. Why can't we get along? What is hindering us? We'll be back with you shortly. In case you want to call in, if you have a comment to add, that number you can dial is 516-418-5637. And what you do to speak to June and myself, your girl Soul Kitten, is press that one. All right? So sit tight and we'll be back with you in a minute.
Why can't women get along? Because we're afraid. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to be soft. We're afraid to be hurt. Most of all, we are afraid of our power. So we become controlling and aggressive and vicious because no one taught us how not to be. Why can't women get along? Because we've been taught that it's better to be bad than to be powerful. Think about that. And in the meantime, stay in peace, not in peace.
Hello. This is June Lewis, and we're back on Touche as we're talking about why do girls hate? My goodness, why? Why can't we just have an authentic sisterhood? Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Girl, you know why? We went through a couple and we couldn't even get through all of them, but that's no problem because coming January the 2nd, we're going to give them this and so much more. Yes, indeed, every Tuesday here on the Cutting Edge Network. Tuesday with my lovely sisters June Lewis and Lisa Antoinette and your girl Soul Kitten. We're going to be bringing you those issues that concern us. We're going to be dissecting them. But what you're listening to right now is a brief little teaser of what we have in store for you coming 2017. Ooh, January 2nd.
2017 is going to be the year, boy. That's going to be the year.
Big things are going to be popping. Now, June, what do you want to leave our listeners with tonight? Because we have just a few more minutes before we're out of here. And this is the last teaser of 2016. The last teaser of 2016. I'm nodding my head. That feels so good because we're going to bust down the doors in 2017. Ooh, man.
Yes.
The Touche.
Touche.
What do you want to leave them with?
I definitely just want to tell the listeners that we don't have to continue to stereotype. We don't have to continue to stigma. Everyone knows that women are very competitive against one another. Everyone knows that we have a hard time with each other. But for me, coming from a family of sisters, I could definitely let you know that sisterhood is able to be abstained. I think that you just need to look at your girl as your blood. When you meet a woman that you love and you adore and you cherish, treat her and look at her as your family. We're going to hurt one another. We're not going to always agree, but just understand that love conquers all things. We don't need to go to the extent. We don't need to give up on each other. We don't need to hate each other. Because had it been that boyfriend that you're dealing with, you would have let him cheat on you over and over and over again, and you would have still took him back. So we need to start giving that same type of love and that same type of endurance with our sisterhood. And I feel like that will change the stigma that is put on us, that's portrayed that we don't have sisterhood and we can't get along with each other. We can't trust one another. You know, I mean, I know it's even hard with your family members, but if you know how to love, if you have love in your life, then express that when you have a girlfriend. And those are my final words.
And June, those were powerful words. And that's something that we want the listeners, the ladies and the men, to digest into their system. And men, if you see women exhibiting this type of behavior around you, stop it. Stand up. Stand up and say something. And ladies, please remember this. Energy flows where attention goes. So if you're sitting there, we went through a couple of points tonight about why women have a hard time actually having those relationships, keeping those relationships, sustaining those relationships. And from the list that we read, most of them are internal conflicts that we have with ourselves. Mm-hmm. Things we need to resolve, because at the end of the day, it starts and it ends with you. And with that
Amen.
Being said, we have had a beautiful time with you. We appreciate all the listeners that have been listening online. You know, we can't see you, but we feel you. We feel you, and we can't wait to feel you and hear your voice. 2017, January the 2nd, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And for our people on the East Coast, that is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your girl Soul Kitten with my beautiful sister June Lewis. And we're not going to say good night. No, we're not going to say goodbye. We're going to say two things. We're going to say see you in 2017. And we're going to say... we're going to say touche. What'd you say, Jen?
Touche.
Touche. And good night.